The mysterious death of Kendrick Johnson is one of the most puzzling and highly publicized cases in recent U.S. history. On January 11, 2013, Kendrick, a 17-year-old high school student and athlete, was found dead inside a rolled-up gym mat at Lowndes High School in Valdosta, Georgia. Officially ruled as an accident by authorities, Kendrick's family and many others suspect foul play, pointing to strange details, lack of evidence, and a series of unusual findings that have kept this case alive in the public eye. Here's an in-depth look into the case and the questions that continue to surround it. Kendrick was last seen alive on January 10, 2013. When he didn't come home that evening, his parents filed a missing persons report. The next morning, his body was discovered by fellow students, who noticed shoes protruding from an upright, rolled-up gym mat in the school gymnasium. When authorities arrived, they unrolled the mat and found Kendrick upside down with his head near the bottom. According to the official report, Kendrick's death was deemed accidental. The Lowndes County Sheriff's Office theorized that Kendrick had climbed into the rolled-up mat to retrieve a pair of shoes he had left there. They suggested he may have become stuck while reaching inside and eventually succumbed to positional asphyxia, a condition that occurs when someone's position prevents them from breathing properly. The first autopsy, conducted by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation (GBI), confirmed this theory, ruling that Kendrick's death was the result of accidental positional asphyxia.
We understand that the Justice Department is investigating this matter as a homicide. So Ms. Jackie and Mr. Johnson and their family is to be applauded that their conviction has led to people at least asking the difficult questions of who killed Kendrick Johnson, because they have rejected from day one. They have rejected the conclusion of the Sheriff's Department that...
However, this conclusion did not sit well with Kendrick's family, who felt the investigation was rushed and incomplete. They believed foul play was involved and that vital evidence had been overlooked. A number of factors raised questions about the official account. Its position and size of the mats were stored vertically, and Kendrick was found upside down. Kendrick's parents argued that he would not have fit into the narrow space of the rolled-up mat. Photographs from the scene also showed Kendrick's shoes and other personal items in strange positions, making the accident theory seem improbable to many. Bloodstains and cleanup bloodstains were reportedly found near Kendrick's body on the floor and on a nearby wall. However, the blood on the wall was not Kendrick's and was never matched to anyone else. No investigation into this blood was conducted, as the authorities dismissed it as unrelated. Missing surveillance footage. There were several security cameras in the gym, but the footage released to the public was incomplete. Key moments, including the time Kendrick is believed to have entered the gym, were missing. The school explained that the cameras operated on motion sensors, and that these missing moments simply occurred when there was no movement. However, many found the gaps suspicious. Discrepancies in the timeline. Kendrick was last seen entering the gym in the afternoon, and by all accounts, no one else had reported seeing him after that. This discrepancy in the timeline, combined with the missing surveillance footage, led to more questions about what might have happened during the hours he was last seen alive. In October 2013, Kendrick's family commissioned an independent autopsy. This examination revealed something that shocked them. The forensic pathologist reported blunt force trauma as the cause of death, directly contradicting the initial ruling of accidental asphyxiation. According to this autopsy, Kendrick had sustained a blow to the right side of his neck and jaw, injuries that were not noted in the original examination. Adding to the controversy, the second autopsy revealed that Kendrick's internal organs were missing. Instead, his body cavity had been stuffed with newspaper. While the funeral home responsible claimed this was a common practice in embalming when organs are removed, the Johnson family saw this as suspicious. Believing Kendrick had been murdered, his family filed several lawsuits, alleging a cover-up involving local law enforcement and school officials. They suspected that Kendrick was murdered by classmates, potentially due to a personal conflict. In one lawsuit, they specifically named two brothers who were schoolmates of Kendrick, though no concrete evidence was ever presented to tie these individuals to the case.
Jane Williams, the same thing that this sheriff department will do again and again if the people do not stand up and fight for what is right and make them do what's right. This is a sheriff department known to cover up, known to cover up things. When you had Willie Jane Williams laying inside this jailhouse, dying, and this same sheriff allegedly covered up what happened to Willie Jane Williams, and the same thing that he come.
So where do you guys go from here? What's your next step?
We keep pushing. We have students was at that schoolhouse that year. They are reaching out to us. And that's what I want to say to the students. You have in the ending, if you have any information.
The Johnson family also argued that authorities tampered with evidence to protect certain individuals. The family faced numerous legal challenges in their quest for justice, with some of their lawsuits dismissed or withdrawn due to lack of evidence. However, they continued to advocate for a re-investigation of the case, drawing national attention and sparking public outrage over what many perceived as an injustice. In 2014, the U.S. Department of Justice (DOJ) launched a federal investigation to determine whether Kendrick's death involved foul play and if civil rights violations had occurred.
Push in tight on your face.
Okay.
Our viewers can read your expression. Did you have anything to do with the death of Kendrick Johnson?
No. He was like one of my good friends.
Even at the time of his death?
Even at the time of his death.
You know, every word we broadcast of this is going to be scrutinized by the blogosphere, the Twitter sphere, and so on.
Yes, sir. It should be. And I want everybody to know the truth. And I mean, they can ridicule me and they can say whatever they want, but in the end, the truth will prevail. And everybody will find that me and my brother have been innocent and always.
However, after nearly 2 years, the DOJ closed the case, citing insufficient evidence to file charges. They did not find proof of a federal crime, but they also did not conclusively affirm the original accidental death ruling. This left many questions unanswered, fueling public suspicion.
In school and just vanished, and no one knows where he at, what happened to him. It's over 3,000 plus people at the school, and it's impossible for nobody to see anything.
In 2018, the Johnson family commissioned a third autopsy. This independent report reaffirmed the second autopsy's findings, concluding that blunt force trauma was the probable cause of death. Kendrick's family hoped this report would compel officials to reopen the investigation. In 2021, the case saw renewed interest when the Lowndes County Sheriff's Office decided to reevaluate the evidence due to public pressure and advancements in forensic technology. While this reinvestigation stirred hope, it remains uncertain whether it will lead to new findings or a definitive resolution. Key theories surrounding Kendrick Johnson's death. Numerous theories have circulated regarding Kendrick's death. Here are some of the most prominent. Accidental death theory. Despite public skepticism, some people still believe Kendrick's death could have been a tragic accident. They argue that the absence of conclusive forensic evidence of foul play, along with the asphyxiation findings, supports this conclusion. Homicide and cover-up theory. Many believe Kendrick was killed, either intentionally or in an altercation, and that his death was staged to appear accidental. Some suspect a cover-up involving influential individuals, possibly due to racial tensions or connections to local law enforcement. The theory of a botched investigation. This theory holds that while Kendrick's death may not have been intentional, it was mishandled by authorities who sought to avoid bad publicity or legal complications. Critics argue that sloppy police work and lack of transparency contributed to the mystery surrounding Kendrick's death. Kendrick Johnson's death has sparked widespread debate about race, justice, and accountability. Many supporters of the Johnson family argue that had Kendrick not been a black teenager, the investigation might have been handled differently. The case has inspired social media campaigns, petitions, and vigils, with supporters calling for a transparent reevaluation of the evidence. The Johnson family's unwavering pursuit of answers has kept Kendrick's story in the national spotlight, with documentaries, investigative reports, and YouTube channels continually revisiting the case. Though no official change has been made to Kendrick's cause of death, the calls for justice have only grown louder. Kendrick Johnson's death remains an unsolved mystery. While officially ruled an accident, the case is filled with strange inconsistencies, alleged evidence tampering, and what many view as a failure by authorities to provide a thorough investigation. The reopening of the case by the Lowndes County Sheriff's Office offers hope for a definitive answer, but for now, Kendrick's family and supporters continue to wait for the truth to emerge.